Yo, comic fam, happy Friday. Big congratulations to Mario, Spencer, and Lint. You're the winners from last week's Top 10 giveaway. We're sending you each a copy of Spider-Woman #1, the Peach Momoko variant. Enjoy your top 10 list. Comic fam, good to see you here today. Hope you're doing well. Sitting here today with my good friend Nick from Key Collector Comics. How you doing?
Hey Tom, I'm happy to be here and I'm glad everybody's watching.
Oh my goodness, I think we got to jump right into this list at number 10 with a book that has gone missed for officially a decade now.
You're talking about Brave and the Bold number 33, and that's a great cover. This book has been sitting at around $10-12 for a while. Recently, it's gone up to about $25 and $100 on the high with a 9.8 grading. Tom, tell us a little bit about this book. I know you love it.
That's right, Nick. Back in 2010 when this came out, it shocked everybody really with the ending. But the pages, the entire comic is actually filled with joy, starting out with Zatanna waking up from a nightmare and kind of pushing her to want to go and live it up with her friends, specifically Wonder Woman and Barbara Gordon. They go out dancing, they cut some rug, they hang out, and by the end, you find out the reason why Zatanna orchestrated this date night is because she wanted Barbara to have a chance to dance, to go out and have fun. Because what was a nightmare was actually a premonition. Because by the end of these pages, you find out that this comic book that came out in 2010 wasn't actually based in 2010. Technically, they were actually bringing us back to 1988, to the pages of Alan Moore in The Killing Joke, with the last page reveal that this nightmare was a premonition of Barbara Gordon being gunned down by the Joker. This is a prequel to The Killing Joke.
Yeah, Tom, they actually pay homage to The Killing Joke with an actual recreation of the page of when Joker comes to Barbara Gordon's house.
That's right, even to the point where they put the quote on page. The same one from 1988, the last thing she says to her father. Yeah, well, I had some interesting nightmares.
Gave me chills.
Nick, this is a dollar bin book all day long. I can't believe people have missed it for so long.
Yeah, well, look, you could use the dollar bin diving section on Key Collector Comics because this is an obscure comic that is valuable, and that's what all of the 800 plus issues in that category are all about.
Use that code TOM101. You help support the show, but it also unlocks a free 1-week subscription to the best comic book app on the market. Link in the description for both Apple and Android users. All right, Nick, tell them about number 9 on the list.
Oh boy, this is cool. And if you watch Jim Comics on YouTube, you know what I'm talking about. This is one of his speculation picks. This is Detective Comics number 948, and it introduces a character named Dr. October, who is a scientist of bioweaponry. So the thought is because she was created by James Tynion, the writer who also created Punchline.
Oh my gosh.
That
you're going to say it.
I'm going to do it, dude.
You're going to do it?
That's right. I'm going to do it. That she could be related to the origin story that's going to come out in the Joker 80th anniversary.
$5 average sales, $42 highs. We're talking a 1,200% increase in copies sold in the last 2 weeks because this gentleman over in Canada putting out such awesome YouTube content. About to hit 10K. I'm going to put the link to his YouTube channel in the description. He does good work, and the needle moves because he actually does really good speculation.
He's great. I love Jim, and he says Aquaman when he says Aquaman. I don't get it. The guy's great. I love Jim.
But this is another example of a dollar bin book, and I like these types of comic books for speculation because the risk is so low.
And you know, it makes sense because it is James Tynion. We're not saying this is going to happen, but you know what? A lot of the speculation when we talk about it, it's about having fun. We like to have fun, Tom.
Fun. It's got to have fun.
Speaking of fun, where the hell is Russ?
That's true. Russ, where you at, dude?
Oh, hey, comic fam. I didn't see you there. I'd like to tell you about another fantastic entry on our top 10 list. Number 8, we have Old Man Skywalker, which is Daniel Warren Johnson's concept art book that basically juxtaposes Old Man Logan and Luke Skywalker. Fantastically cool idea from the guy that gave us Murder Falcon. So this was sold mostly at conventions. We have confirmation of San Diego Comic-Con and New York Comic-Con that there were copies available. This was not printed through a normal printing press. This is something that was only available from the artist at conventions. These have been selling consistently in the $60 to $75 range with a high of $100. I can tell you there's also a graded 9.8 on eBay right now that is Signature Series signed and sketched for $120. That one will not last very long. The artist was actually talking about doing a Patreon for this and doing a wider release, but there has been no information since then.
There you go, Nick. There's Russ. You happy now?
I'm happy. I missed Russ. I missed him. I'm sure a lot of people miss Russ.
Everyone misses Russ. Comic fam, let Russ know you miss him by slapping the like button. And if you're subscribed to the channel and you comment down below, it'll enter you to win one of, I think we got 3 giveaways we're doing here. We just chatted about Detective Comics, so I feel like we should do this Batman Detective Comics 1000 Jim Lee variant, courtesy of Torpedo Comics. If you comment down below and let me know what you are reading this week, what's keeping you occupied, what's keeping you sane, what's keeping you from getting stark crazy, it'll enter you to win this giveaway.
You know what, Tom? I'll give away a free year of Key Collector, too, for anybody that comments. Tell us what you like about the app or give us a suggestion for a category.
Ooh, Comic fam, you got to keep Nick busy as well. I like it. All right, let's take a look at number 7 on the list because we have Thor 339. Okay, awesome. I like this minor key, going for an average sale of $10 with a high sale, Signature Series, but of $165 at a 9.8. This used to be a dollar bin book. It started to creep up because really the respect for Beta Ray Bill, for Stormbreaker specifically, it's grown. And I think what we are seeing here is people catching up on their Thor reading. What do you think?
Yeah, I think people are catching up on their reading, and if they did in Thor number 3, they would have seen Beta Ray Bill's hammer, Stormbreaker, get destroyed. And this is where Stormbreaker makes its first appearance.
That's right, and it was epic. Donny Cates wrote out a fight scene that ends with Thor using Stormbreaker against Mjolnir and destroying it by wielding it himself.
Yeah, and then in issue 4, we got Galactus about to go head-to-head with the Black Winter.
Yeah, comic fan, you got to be up on this run. And let's chat about some Stan Sakai goodness.
Albedo number 4, this is the 3rd appearance of Usagi Yojimbo. And Yojimbo means a bodyguard for hire. So this samurai rabbit, people love this character. And it shows because they're willing to spend a little bit more on this issue, where on the back cover is actually a pretty cool illustration of him. This was going on a high for $110. It was selling for about a month ago, and now we have a new high sale at $150, which is a 36% increase.
This isn't the only issue from this run to see some substantial gains in recent time, is it not?
No, Tom, it is not, because there was that wraparound cover that we talked about a little while ago for the anniversary. And what's that doing?
Oh, you're talking about the number 6 Darrow variant, and that book is seeing highs at $200. Hasn't gone down. I recently saw a VG copy that had a tear in the cover go for over $40.
Yeah, that's crazy for a relatively new book because it was on the hot list last year.
That's correct, Nick. And want to remind everybody about the post done last year by Stan, letting us all know that he has not just every intention to bring this character to the screen, they are actively working on an animated series.
And Tom, actually, I just wanted to say that I recognize that there was a undervalued book, which was Albedo number 3, which is the second appearance of Usagi Yojimbo. It was going for like $20 to $40.
So low, dude. It's crazy low.
It's insanely low because you'll see that his first appearance in Albedo 2 goes for about $2,500 to $4,000. So the fact that number 2 is going for $20 to $40 is like 1% of what number 1 goes for. And I think that there's a lot of room for growth in that book if you're looking to collect and invest in a character like Usagi Yojimbo.
Great example of a book that belonged on the spec deck. This is a category on the app that you got to be familiarizing yourself with, because as soon as there is wind that some of these comic books may be moving, maybe undervalued, that's where you put these books.
Number 5 is a little bit of a surprise because it's not a specific book.
That's right. Not a single comic book, but a franchise of comic books going on the list. We have Halloween from Chaos Comics. Issue number 1, The Origin of Michael Myers. My favorite Halloween and horror themed content. And right now we are seeing a number of sales, over 50 comics sold in as little as 2 days after rumors that the trailer is coming. That's right. We have a trilogy also being written by Danny McBride, very successful after the first movie dropped last year. We have now Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends coming. 2 more years of Halloween spec. Now, Nick, there's a couple of variants that we should probably mention because there's not a whole lot of Halloween comics that exist.
Right. And the people that like this franchise, it's been around for a while, so there's a lot of them out there. They like these variants because they are very classically all about Halloween. You have this glow-in-the-dark one that we're featuring that looks like the movie poster, and it's limited to 6,666, a very evil number, and it's sold for $150. It was graded a 9.6.
The best horror comics are the ones that source from the original material. And inside, you're seeing such gorgeous pages, renditions of the classic movie.
Tom.
What's up,
Can
dude?
you go back for a second? What are we looking at there?
What, where? On the page?
Right there. Look, right there.
Oh my God, Nick.
That's right. That's the first appearance of Punchline right there.
Oh my gosh. Comic Fam, Chaos Comics. We just found it. Call Tinian. Okay, we got to move on to the next one on the list.
We have number 4 on the list, which is JLA and the Avengers crossover. And this is going for about $40 for the full set, number 1 through 4. And it's going for a high of about 150. It's a 400% increase in copies sold. This was published by Marvel and DC. They alternated issues. DC would publish 2 and 4, Marvel 1 and 3. But I think where the interest is coming from is, remember Thor number 2, where Donny Cates was making reference to the JLA in the Marvel universe. And then there's been a lot of fanfare, a lot of requests from the fans of comics that they want to see it happen. They want to see it happen at a time like now when it's most important for there to be excitement in comic books.
Yeah, I felt like people were getting really excited about a month ago. It kind of fizzled out, but now the conversation's back up again, really hoping that something is planned, that something is coming. And I hate to say it, Comic Fam, but as far as the Thor issue number 2 connection, I had an opportunity to chat with Sir Cates to get the definitive answer if that was alluding to something bigger. Is there another crisis coming? When are you going to be doing this crossover between Marvel and DC?
I'm just going to squash that right now. It's not happening.
It's not happening.
It's complete fiction. It's absolute fiction.
And what's going on with Thor?
What do you mean what's going on with Thor? You mean in issue 2 when I killed the DCU? Yeah, I just needed to show what our big bad guy can do. And I needed to destroy reality, and I thought that would be really cute to destroy the DCU.
That was it.
So I did it. There's no story there.
There's nothing.
I promise you.
It's squashed.
Yeah,
There's nothing happening.
There is no secret crisis. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
All right, guys, way to crush everybody's hopes on that.
I did what I had to do, Comic Fam. I have to get that information. And Nick, please fill us in on number 3 because we have a video game comic book that is killing it.
Number 3 is Dragon's Lair, the 1983 game starring Dirk the Daring. This was a really popular game, and man, this game has its fans because people have reached out to me and they're throwing a bunch of facts at me and saying how happy they were to get the key issue alert because this is going to be a movie by Ryan Reynolds, formerly Deadpool, or maybe currently. We'll see what happens. I think him in this role of Dirk the Daring, because the guy's, he's a goofy character. I think this is going to be a fun movie, and I think it's a good reason for people to be excited about this comic book.
These are super low print. Not a lot of people bought this comic book. $30 average sales for issue number 1. We're seeing the set of 3 go for $80 highs. Do we have a print count?
Copies ordered by retailers are just under 10,000. And then there's that variant that is limited to 1,000.
Comic fam, you got to know these video game comic books are low print and they move quick, especially in high grade. Peep the video game categories on Key Collector. There's more than one.
Some of them are insane. I mean, some of these video game comics go for an insane amount.
Some of them are like promotional issues. They were like inserted in magazines, in other comic books. Get to the hunt, comic fam, and let's chat about Spidey 300 hitting the list at number 2. The first full appearance of Venom. It's debatable, but we'll argue about that another day. We have $325 average sales, and honestly, creeping back up to closer to where that price belongs for this monumental key. And we have high sales of $2,250 graded at a 9.8. Now, we do know that there is a trailer coming and rumors that it's going to be landing here any day now. That has people excited. We also have Twitter videos of substances being found on the planet resembling.
It's a real symbiote, Tom. There's a real symbiote.
Nick is convinced that there is actual symbiotes living among us. And I don't know. I'm not sold yet. Comic fam, let me know what you think about this theory. Is this a symbiote?
This gives me the heebies and the jeebies.
All right. Well, I'm excited to see this book back on the list. I love me some Eddie Brock.
All right. Hit that subscribe button and we're moving on to number 1.
That's right. Number 1 on the list, we have The Walking Dead, issue number 171. The first appearance of Princess. The princess of who?
Pittsburgh, right?
Absolutely. You know Robert Kirkman loves George Romero. Pittsburgh. You got it. Zombies in Pittsburgh. They go together. And this character was featured. We knew it was coming, but made her debut on the recent Walking Dead episode.
Yeah, she's toting guns. She's wearing fur. She's got that look in her eye like,
Well, she hasn't seen anybody in over a year. She's kind of going stir crazy, kind of feeling like I can relate a little bit. Okay, but hey, let's chat about The Walking Dead because this book is seeing $8 average sales, a high sale of about $100, and we're seeing over 1,000% increase in copies sold, which makes sense. But how do you feel about the key worthiness of the Walking Dead franchise? I'm hearing kind of some people in the community getting scared that maybe the franchise itself isn't as strong and that it's reflecting in the comic book sales for back issues.
I mean, look, I think that The Walking Dead, you always see their issues that just crop up that are worth, going for $10, $15, $20 that are selling somewhat regularly. These key central characters in the show that were introduced in the book, they always seem to do pretty well and they hold a decent value. I mean, we're talking about books that are in the run of 100, in 100, through 150, 60 to 90. I think it's still a great series, man.
Yeah, I think it's a testament to the impact that this comic book had on the comic book industry in general. It's an old series, 2003, man, and people still love it.
I know a lot of people that say this was the reason that brought them back into comic books.
Comic fam, I'm really appreciative that you're here with us today, spending some time with us to chat about comic books this week. It means a lot to me, and Nick, I'm sure it means a lot to you too.
It does, Tom. Thank you so much, everybody, for allowing us to do this, to provide this information to you, and for supporting us, because we love doing it.
Oh, and Comic Fam, don't forget, we are currently open enrollment for the April Mystery Mail Call. Every single member of the community is getting, courtesy of Scout Comics, a copy of my new Mike Mignola Comictom101 exclusive of the new Enzo Garza Gut Ghost #1 one-shot. Really excited for this to come out and to be able to send every member a copy. Stay safe out there, Comic Fam. We appreciate you. And, as always,
geek responsibly.
Enough said. Comic Fam, we're going to do 2 bonus giveaways this video. I pulled a couple trades from my personal collection. I just want to send you guys out some reading material, some books that I really enjoy. So comment down below, let me know what you're reading, and I'll enter you to win a copy of my Hellboy the Companion, great read, as well as a chance to win some Happy Grant Morrison goodness, Volume 1. Have a great weekend. Stay safe out there.